Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, and hot music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. We're here without a guest today. We're going to catch up on some local events, got some things happening coming up, pretty important things coming up for the town here in the next month. But first, Marty, with local events.
So this week at the Bellows Falls Opera House is Dog Man. Part man, part dog.
Yes. I guess it's really popular. I mean,
Is it really?
the whole concept is about the dog. They got in an accident together, and the man's head. If I get this right, the
Dog
man's
head.
head was the man's head was destroyed and the dog's body was destroyed. So they're surgically joined, and now you have a
You have
being.
Dog Man.
Yeah, Dog Man. Yeah, exactly.
So that is January 30th.
Hope I didn't give that away. I'm just,
You gave away the plot
spoiler.
now.
Yeah.
January 31st through February 11th. The classic movie is Alice in Wonderland. I mean, like really
That's
classic
really
movie.
classic,
It's 1933. So I was, and it's sponsored by Susan McNeil and Sandra Whippy. And I clicked on it. I was curious to like watch the trailer, and it is old because people are like they it's black and white and it's very like stilted. So I imagine it's an interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Interesting
Before special
viewing.
effects, but
Yeah.
with a lot of makeup.
Yeah,
Yes.
and anyway, that's the classic movie. So the Vermont movie, which I talked to you all about a little bit last week, and I had said that it was happening again consecutive weekends. It is happening again consecutive weekends. So this Sunday, February 2nd, and again next Sunday, February 9th, there's going to be, because it's a 6-part docuseries.
Yes.
So they showed the first 2 last week. This weekend will be parts 3 and 4, and then the final will be next weekend. So this weekend, the part 3, the doors open at 2. The film starts at 2. The first film starts at 2:15. The next one will follow, and then at 5:15 they'll do a 5:10. Excuse me. They'll do a Q&A until 5:30. And this week they have, if anyone remembers the character Bulldog from Frasier, do you remember that character?
Vaguely.
He was a reporter, right? And so then
Yeah.
I would call him Bulldog. I think it's been a long time since I've seen Frasier. Anyway, Dan Butler is the actor, and he and his partner Richard Waterhouse live in Vermont, and they have a clip in that third part. So they're going to be in the audience and participate in the Q&A.
That's
So that's
gonna
kind
be
of
fun,
cool.
yeah.
I guess their little part of it was them talking about their transition coming to Vermont, like leaving LA and coming to Vermont and kind of, coming in as Flatlanders and integrating in and kind of what that experience was like. And so I think I forgot last weekend that it was happening, but I did drive through downtown on Sunday, and I think it was pretty well attended. I
good.
think. Well,
Yeah.
it was very busy in downtown. You
Yeah,
can't always tell where
yeah.
people are. And then we are beginning the Ray Masuko concert series again. The first Ray Masuko concert in the Ray Masuko concert series is James McMurtry with special guest Betty Sue. And I think James was definitely someone that was
He was a regular at Roots,
at
yeah.
Roots. So pretty well known. And then Betty Sue's been doing a lot recently at the Opera House. So she's always a good addition. She
Yeah.
brings a lot to the stage. So tickets are available at the Opera House. There are still some good seats available. I did check. It is a lot of the center seats are taken, but not all of them. So you can still get good seats. And I find personally that almost any
Pretty
seat
much
in the Opera
anywhere,
House is
yeah.
pretty good seating. So that's what I have. And so you have a clip because today is a special
today's
day.
a special day. It's Lunar New Year, so Happy New Year. We're going to go to a clip that I took in New York in Roosevelt Park a couple years ago for Lunar New Year. And let's go to the clip, and then we'll talk about it later. So Happy New Year.
Your voice.
Happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year. It's
I'm-
sort of like the idea being that the firecrackers make all this noise and smoke and scare all the past evil spirits away.
Interesting. What is it the year of?
This year coming up is the year of the snake. So you have to think of the snake shedding its skin, and you shed your past and you
Okay.
move forward. So
Is this not in generally that we might have a snaky presence in our
No,
in
I think
our lives
it's
this
called
year?
well, we might have a sneaky presence.
You can read between the
that
lines
is
on that
true.
one.
Yes, that's true. But
Interesting. Okay. Well, that seems apropos. But I like that analogy better. That you shed your
yeah,
past.
you shed your past and
Yeah.
move on. That's what they say. Anyway, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So.
And you're supposed to eat dumplings today. The more dumplings you eat today, the more luck you have.
Oh, okay.
This is my son's
Then I need
big
then
theory,
I
'cause
need
he's
a
in
trough of
He goes
dumplings.
from
Then
place to place in Chinatown eating dumplings, and it's a lot of fun.
I good to know what I'm having for lunch. I found a meme posted on Facebook today. January is like one long Monday.
Yes, tell me about it. Here we are. We're 1 day left in January, and it seems like it was 6 months ago.
It does.
started.
It does. But that's my segue into, believe it or not, we are coming up really quickly on town meeting.
Yeah, I hope that happens, but not because the very first day of March is town meeting day.
Right.
Yeah, so I think people are going to be like, oh, it's February, town meeting isn't until March. We
Right,
got
but it's
plenty
March
of time.
1. True. People, it might have the opposite effect, thinking that if February was anything like January, which dragged, then we have lots of time. So it is March 1st, Saturday, March 1st, which is different. That's really important
This
to
is
highlight.
A big day. A big change.
Big change.
For us.
It's at the Bells Falls Middle School auditorium. That's different
Mm-hmm.
versus a town hall, and it's at 2:00 in the afternoon.
So people should be able to go. I mean, it's not. It's yeah.
I think, there was a team that worked really hard, I think, on polling, like finding out, getting data, collecting the data, figuring out, when, did people really want Saturday? Okay,
Yeah.
they do. Now, what time do they want?
Yeah,
What time is the most important? Because I find 2:00 kind of interesting. I would have
Well,
thought.
it seems like a dead time of the day. It seems like people would be
Yeah,
able to.
because
You're
they've
not
done
doing
their
your recycling. You should be
exactly. I
done
bet
with
that was
You should be-
exactly what people. Yeah, gotta get your recycling.
You're moving on.
Grocery
But it-
shopping, yeah.
It's hopefully we'll get a much bigger turnout, because that was the whole point. Is that people going on Monday night for the school board and the
Right,
town meeting,
right.
you'd start at 7 and it was
late and it was
10 or
hard if you had
11
kids.
and everybody was like, nobody talk anymore. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it would get like that. I mean, it was fun though. I hope that the outcome is that more people come, more people participate, and there's more of a voice of the people, so that the town can feel like they're confident in the fact that this is the will of the people. Because there's
Right.
there's a couple, let's see how many
There's several
articles.
really important things, and
There's
just a shout out to
13 articles total.
Yeah. Shout out to Susan Smallhair at the Reformer. She
Mm-hmm.
has an excellent article in the paper today about the town meeting being on March 1st and about the various articles and what they represent. And,
Oh, good.
Yeah, and the money amounts, and it's really concise. I know sometimes it's difficult to look at the articles because they're printed up now, and you can get them on.
Yep, you can get them online at the Town of Rockingham website, and I went through and highlight, but they don't have the ballot out yet, so I don't know who's running for different offices,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
town report's not out yet, so those will be coming quickly, and it's a good idea to look those up ahead of time. Like this year, the all of the nonprofits are lumped
Right,
together in one
exactly.
article.
And the total amount of that is around $100,000.
It is around $100,000, and
So,
I
definitely significant.
It is significant, and I was looking through some of the a lot of them I recognize. You recognize a lot of the folks, and some of them I'm like, and how are they pertinent?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the town report is helpful, because each one of these agencies has to give a report, so you can go in and you can find out how did they serve Rockingham? Who did they serve in Rockingham? So I think it's some good due diligence to
really get in
but
and
to
look
make
at
it 100% clear when it comes to voting and motions, you can reduce the total amount, but you can't request that an individual entity's amount be reduced. You can't, not when they're in lump sum. You can the years that they are individual articles, which I think was 2 years ago or last year maybe. It's every 5 years they're individual articles. Yeah. But just to make that clear, because that always kind of gets confusing for folks. So the big articles, I think, are Article 9 and 10.
And what are they? Because there's just as far as things happening, they're looking at putting a new roof on the town hall.
Yep, that's article, which, oh my gosh, it needs it. If you happen to go up to the upper level conference room, it.
Well, it's always been sort of
Article 12.
Yeah.
I think it's a flat roof. Is it a flat roof? Yeah. And it's probably old.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of history with old flat roofs. Actually, we have a lot of history in town with old flat roofs. The high school just had to have their old flat roof fixed. So that seems like a fairly reasonable amount, though. The amount for repairing
it as much as I thought it would be.
No, because it's $375,000. So that's Article 12.
And then the whole idea of the train station is being voted on, right? And that's sort of an interesting. I'm glad we're having Gary on again.
We are.
Next week.
I think he's laid some groundwork to make people understand that this isn't necessarily an anomaly in a grant-funded project, and in a project where you're trying to keep an old building and restore it and repurpose it. I think it's more the norm than not.
And I think it's important, and he's alluded to this, but it's important to look at the bigger picture of it's not just the train station. It's the train station as a gateway to the island. And again, my shout outs to the various reporters. This week in the Commons, Robert Smith did an in-depth article on the train station, the issues around the train station, the way that Gary is trying to work with various government organizations to mitigate all those issues. Because I guess they're now looking at, they've contacted this because the state owns the land.
Right, that's the rub. The state owns the land, and then the
Green Mountain
railroad station
Railroad
owns the building.
And I guess they've gotten sort of a commitment to work together to solve that problem.
Oh, good.
And they've sent letters to the state and to Green Mountain, and they've gotten replies back saying, we would like to work on this.
Oh, that's good.
And there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel. It's dim, little dim.
Well, it's just
pinpoint of light is.
I don't know how to describe it to folks out there. If you haven't ever tried to take on any kind of project like this, like any kind of, maybe you've done some stuff at your home and you run into some problems, like when the contractor finds, oh my gosh, you got mold in your basement or you got something like that, and you're like, oh, and it's a big hassle. Well, imagine that, but scale it up about 100 times, and that's the things that can happen. But they just kind of, it's what happens. We're talking old buildings. We're talking in an industrial town that back in the day, things just got dumped wherever. And so now they have to be, by law, they have to be mitigated. And there is a process. And once you open the can of worms, someone's got to take care of it. So the best thing you can do is hope that all the entities are going to work together. And it sounds like that's the case. I haven't had a chance to read that yet, but I do want to read it.
Wishful, they talk about the Robert talks about the Robertson paper site that's now cleared, and it's now been the brownfield stuff has been done with it. There's a sort of a discussion with Green Mountain Co-op now that's gotten beyond. Oh, that might be a neat idea.
I think it's a definite both the co-op and co-packing or something. Packing, like a place.
It's an interesting idea is that they would have the co-op on the island, but also a cold storage space where local farmers could then bring their stuff in and store it there, and then be able to distribute it through the winter, which is be a huge boost. A huge asset to the community. Just that we can
have
local source,
because
which
I
is-
think, whew,
boy,
that's a
just
key.
with all this stuff with the bird flu and everything that's happening now, I think local source is going to be
Local
a
sourcing
real
is gonna be key.
resiliency key, because it's just things are so funky out there right now.
Right. So we have about 2 minutes before we're
Oh.
going to finish. I know this went way quicker than we
Wow.
thought. Before we're going to finish with another life song, right?
Yeah, I would like to if we could. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think kind of our purpose today and kind of catching you up on local events and talking about this is giving you resources, the Commons, the Brattleboro
Yeah.
Reformer, to read the articles that
Really, yeah, you can get some a lot of good information that's not rumors on Facebook, which is like the deadliest thing in the world.
you mean it's not true if it's on Facebook?
I can't imagine
I can't imagine
that somebody's opinion on Facebook should be taken, because there are, Robert also alludes to some various different things that have been said that are like, no, that's
misinformation.
Not really true. Misinformation.
And
That's
sometimes
not really true.
it's not always said in negativity. It's just misinformation.
Yeah,
It's hard.
like-
it's hard to understand.
People think one thing, but that's not really true.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not seem like common sense, but
Like I heard talking to someone yesterday that Dartmouth Hitchcock was interested in coming here into the health center. First
Good.
I've heard of it. So, I mean, there's definitely things
Yeah.
and probably they're interested in something somewhere
yeah.
close to here, but nothing's happened.
Yes,
but if they're
exactly.
interested, please come my way. But it's just, so it's not malicious, I don't think. I think it's just misinformation.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So we are hoping that everyone will do their due diligence before going to the meeting, that you'll go to the new
yeah, I
new
hope they go to the new.
location.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
I'm
think
going
that's
to hope they'll let me
really-
in as a guest, because I do like to. I
You
know
are-
I can't vote here
that's
anymore.
true.
I do
You
like
are no
to
longer
keep
a-
in the mix of what's happening here
Maybe
in
I'll
town.
invite you as a one.
As
plus.
as your plus one. I'm pretty sure as long as I don't try to vote, I'm okay. But so can you set up the clip for us a little bit?
Our closing clip is again, Main Street Arts is doing a project called Life Songs, where they pair a singer-songwriter with an elder. I hate to
love
say
this.
elder, but that's what it is.
Wiser, maybe,
a wiser,
I don't know.
an older, wiser person, and they do a song about that person's
That's so
life.
cool.
And the concert was supposed to be in January, and then we had a snowstorm, and then it was supposed to be in February, and then 6 of the people got sick. So now it looks like it's going to be, I
June?
think,
I'm just
no, I
kidding.
think May. I think that's what they're saying.
Okay.
But as a lead up to that, this is one of the songs, and this is Putnam Smith and a woman named Heidi.
I was just 17 when I left Germany, through hurricanes to the shores of New York City. My auntie took me in Union Street in old Brooklyn, English lessons 4 times a day. On break from the bakery, I'd sneak out to the Met. Paintings took me far, far away. When I first fell in love, a fool I looked to some. Quit college, see the country from a school bus. Guiding a group of kids, me and the man I was sleeping with. Civil rights movement just beginning. I was dreaming of a good life, focused on living every day, hoping that one fine day I'd find a good life. We landed in Vermont, bought a house thanks to my aunt. By now I had 2 kids of my own. Back to school, earned my degree, helping folks to sobriety. But the dreamer who wore my ring was never home. You gotta love, love, love to to live a good life. You gotta focus on living every day. You gotta give, 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 sometimes give it all away to find the good life. These were hard, hard times. They got harder still. When I asked him to leave, he nearly took a life out of me. It nearly took a life out of me. You gotta love, love, love to live a good life. You gotta focus on living every day. You gotta give, 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 sometimes give it all away to find a good life. Can't say it took me by surprise to find the love of my life. I'd known him over lunch for 9 years. We laughed at everything, saved his wine money for a ring. On Sunset Lake we made ourselves a home. The walls all filled with art, joy in my heart. We shared nearly half a century. You gotta love, love, love to live the good life. You gotta focus on living every day. You gotta give, 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 sometimes give it all away to find a good, good, good life. Find a good, good life.
Thank you. Isn't that great?
Very good.
Okay, is that enough?
Yes. And that's it for this.
Well, that was a perfect ending.
Yes.
Yes, that was amazing. Bye, community.
Bye, community. We'll see you next week.
Local